Dormammu, still one of the best characters in Marvel Strike Force, released a long time ago through Dark Dimension 5. There were a lot of recommendations of the best characters, the best teams to take into Dark Dimension 5 back in the day. But it's been a while since he was released. We've had Apocalypse come to the game. All of our Horseman characters needed to unlock Apocalypse. So in this age, post-Apocalypse, do these recommendations still hold water? We're going to take a look at some of these updated recommendations in this age, post-Apocalypse. And if you're ready to get these recommendations so you can unlock Dormammu, then you know what to do, Valley Club. Find that like button. Let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Valley Maniacs. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I'm ValleyFlyin. Hope you're having a great day. And if you don't already have Dormammu unlocked, I hope you're all set to unlock him because we got the best character recommendations for each section in Dark Dimension 5 post-release of Apocalypse. Now, if this is your first time here on the channel, hit the subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. We got guides like this. We have news, tips, tricks, gameplay, everything to help your journey in Marvel Strike Force. But without further ado, let's go see where this video idea came from. I do want to give a shout out to Winter Soldier, who left this question in the mailbag yesterday, and I said I would do a video about it today. So idea for your video. Now that all the Apocalypse teams have been revealed, a new video on Dark Dimension 5, the best characters take up that will help Apocalypse Saga and Dark Dimension 5. So things have changed, and I think that is the goal right now, to try to be most efficient with the characters that you're bringing into Dark Dimension 5, because there are a lot of characters that you have to build up to unlock Apocalypse. So let's go back into Dark Dimension 5 and see some of the characters that I took in all the way back in the day. And if you look, this is my third run of Dark Dimension 5. Got through most of it and just 287 days ago, just kind of stopped. So this is who we brought in. So we have a first few sections here. You could bring in whatever characters you want into this global section here. As you can see, some of the characters that I brought in before, this is my third run. So Dormammu was in this run, but Eternals are here. Morgan Le Fay was here. And Omega Red was still here. That's where we brought it to this section here. We brought in Cloak Dagger, Squirrel Girl, Scarlet Spider, and Shang-Chi. Do these recommendations change? We have the more city section. We also have the non-city section, the global section here. We brought Doom in here. We brought the Secret Avengers, who have been replaced by the Invaders, so wouldn't recommend building these guys up at this time. Should you still build up Doom? That's the big question there. And then let's move on to the non-legendary cosmic section. Here we did bring in Doom or Dormammu for the third run. Kestrel's here. The Eternals are here. All great characters in this section here. And last but not least, the legendary section. We did not do this legendary section, but we started it. We brought in Morgan Le Fay, Omega Red, Rogue, and Jubilee Shuri. And like I said, this was a long time ago, few days. So let's go into MarvelStrikeForce.com and take a look at the planning section here. So if you're not familiar with this, if you go to MarvelStrikeForce.com, link your account, and go to your roster section here, it'll take you to this page. You can go to this Dark Dimension Planner, and whether you're planning for Dark Dimension 2, 3, 4, or 5, this will help you plan everything out. Now, these are the characters in the global section, and I think this is the toughest section to figure out because there's a lot of global characters here, and what you do need to balance is your global characters, your cosmic characters, your city characters, and your legendary characters, but you also have to manage your origin gear because there are some characters that take the same amount of origin gear. Red Hulk, normal Hulk, Abomination, they all take gamma radiation. So does a few other characters that you may not want to bring into this. So you need to balance your different sections, your bio sections, your tech sections, mystic sections, mutant section, and skill section. And in my picks here, we have 4 bio characters, 2 tech characters, 7 mystic characters. So if you don't have a lot of mystic gear, you may want to go to some different choices. And we have a lot of alternate selections for you here. 6 mutant characters and 2 skill characters. And Kestrel is in that skill and tech section here. But as far as who I would recommend for global, well, this is one of the best characters in the game, is Spider-Weaver. So she's definitely recommended for this global section here. I think that is a no-brainer. She is required for Apocalypse. Great character outside of Dark Dimension. and great character in Dark Dimension as well. So Spider Weaver is in. Next character that I want to recommend in his global section is right here in Gambit. Now, he's a mutant character, and he gives you a lot of value synergy with Rogue and the rest of the Unlimited X-Men. We're going to run no Unlimited X-Men on this team other than Gambit, so we're going to need to have some survivability, and for that, we're bringing in Hulk. Now, this does use up that gamma radiation. I would recommend building up Red Hulk, but if you're going to build up Apocalypse, you're going to need to build up all these characters anyway, so Hulk is in this team. Now, as far as rounding out this squad for some survivability, some sustainability, I would go with Nemesis and Dark Beast. So that is my top picks for the global section in this current age, but we have a lot of honorable mentions here. Doom is who I brought in for my first 3 runs of Dark Dimension, and Doom is still a great character here. Now, he does take Miasma, which is going to overlap with some other characters like Cloak. Dormammu also takes that miasma, so you may want to hold off on Doom. He did fall in value from over a year ago where he was, so that you may want to hold off on that. He doesn't get you that Apocalypse unlock, so you may want to just skip all that gear. Now, if you do already have Apocalypse unlock, you don't have Dormammu unlocked, obviously bring him. You have your Horseman characters ready. You can do all the Horseman characters, and Apocalypse is just a great character, so if you have him, he's going to give you some value. Now, let's talk about the rest of the Darkhold characters that are in this global section. We have Scarlet Witch here. She is very expensive with 72 of these uniques, and that's a good thing about this site on the MarvelStrikeForce.com. You have these 90 characters, or characters that take 90 uniques, 72 uniques per gear, 54, so you can slot down, go for the cheaper characters, like this dude, Shield Trooper or Sabretooth, or you could go with some better characters. So we have Scarlet Witch here. She is a little more expensive. I probably wouldn't go with her into Dark Dimension 5, but if you already have her built for Apocalypse, then, you know, she's not going to be great, but she'll be another body that you could throw in and have a few more attacks. We also have Agatha here on the honorable mention section. She is a decent character in that Darkhold team. She's not farmable still, after all these years, still not farmable. And last but not least is Wong. Great protector. You're going to need to build him anyway for Apocalypse, so it's your choice whether you want to bring Wong or Hulk. Now, the thing about Wong is that he does have some long cooldowns, so may not be very beneficial in that Dark Dimension 5. Let's talk about the rest of the Gamma characters that are in this. Cho is a decent alternative, another character you're gonna have to build up anyway if you want Apocalypse, but I find at his value, he doesn't have a lot of use outside of the Gamma team and outside of War. If you have him on that Gamma team, he does a lot, but when you're using him not on that Gamma team, he doesn't seem to be as good. So if you already have him built, you're gonna need to build him anyway, but yeah, it's not a recommended character. Now, Abomination was a character that I was thinking of recommending. He does have a stun. He does have offense downs, defense downs that he can apply to off the opponents. But I think for that tank and that survivability, I think Hulk is the better choice just for the characters that you're bringing in here. We have a few other Unlimited X-Men and Phantom X. If we scroll all the way to the top, we can see Phantom X here and Sunfire, Dazzler. They're also recommended. You're going to need to build them anyway, so if you have them built, that's fine. Another character that is not related to Apocalypse, so she's very cheap and she's great on Cosmic Crucible defense, is Kate Bishop. Good character, but again, not going to lead to that road to Apocalypse, so you may want to skip. And then if you want to look towards the future, some characters that we're going to need, like Captain America, the rest of these Rebirth characters, the Invader characters, that is the new wave of the future for the skill sections. Those are characters that I would recommend. I probably would continue with the road to Apocalypse if you don't have them built, but if you do have them built, you have some great alternatives like Captain America and the rest of these invaders. Now, you may want to build Captain America instead of Hulk, and the reason for that is that gamma radiation. Captain America is a skill character, and we don't have a lot of other skill characters in this, so that's another great recommendation, and he gives out ability energy, so will help you in Dark Dimension 5, but those are my picks and honorable mentions for Global. The hardest section, let's move on to Cosmic. Now, this section, we have a few different characters here. I would definitely bring in Kestrel. She is required for Apocalypse. She's a great character in Dark Dimension and outside of Dark Dimension. So I see that as a no-brainer to bring in Kestrel here. Now, Deathpool is another one of these characters that is required for Apocalypse, one of these original characters, so I think we should build her up anyway and bring her in. Now, the next two characters I think are great in Dark Dimension, great outside of Dark Dimension, but they are very expensive if you need to build both of them. They take a lot of the same gear, and what we could do is bring in Icarus. If you're just bringing in Icarus or Cersei, I think Icarus is a little more valuable because of the double tap that he can potentially get with his ultimate. But if you're bringing in Icarus, I think you're going to want to build up Cersei anyway for other game modes. So those are my top 4 picks. And last but not least is Kang. Great in Arena, great on the Masters of Evil team. And I think because if he has such a strong kit, he's going to have some value after the Masters of Evil goes out of style as well. So these are my top picks for the Cosmic section: Kestrel, Deathpool, both the Eternals, and Kang. You may want to switch up some of your choices if you don't have a lot of that origin gear or you don't have a lot of those uniques for each of these characters. But if that was not a consideration, these are the characters that I would bring in. Now, honorable mentions for this Cosmic section here, we have a few of them. And the first one I want to recommend is Hela. Now, you may want to build her up anyway, but as far as specifically for Dark Dimension, Hela may not be the best character because you have Bishop on some of the nodes, Symbiotes on some of these nodes, and with Greg always dying, they're going to be loaded up in speed. You may not take a turn. Heartless is another great character. Heartless Doctor Strange does a lot of damage, is required for that Apocalypse unlock. He's kind of the second strongest damage dealer on the team after Morgan Le Fay and a lot of the battles that I'm seeing. So great character. Or there's also the cheap option. I took him in my original run and he's a pretty good character. Star-Lord T'Challa. Very good because he's cheap, only takes 38 of these mini uniques. I wouldn't go the ultra cheap route for Ravager Stitcher because he does take that gamma radiation, but T'Challa is a great backup. These are my top picks for Global, Cosmic. Let's move on to the section that does not have a lot of great characters, this City section here. And as far as City, well, we have a few different options here. And there is one horseman that you could build up for this section. She's not a great character outside of the Gamma team. She's not that great in Dark Dimension, but if you're looking for overlap, the minimum amount of resources, I think you do build up She-Hulk. Next, these are characters that you're gonna need. They're part of the wave of the future. Your New Warriors just got a rework, part of that all-important Cosmic Crucible offense team. They're not fully here yet, but as Firestar comes into the game, you may want to build her up as well as whoever that 5th member of the New Warriors is. Now, Cloak, Dagger, I think if resources were not the limitation, those are the characters you bring in. You may want to split up Cloak and Dagger for this. Now, Cloak does take Miasma, so does Dr. Doom, so does Dormammu, so you're going to be limited on that unique. So you may want to switch up some of these characters to some mutant or some other skill characters there. But last but not least is Squirrel Girl. Now, I am recommending her for her value in Dark Dimension. She's also great on a Young Avengers team on Crucible defense or War defense, or something like that. Great character, but not needed for Apocalypse, which is why I was kind of hesitant to build her up. But great character. And last but not least, another character that is great, kind of falling out of favor. So maybe in a month or two, this recommendation will not be here, but I still at this point would recommend Shang-Chi. He does have a replacement in his skill section of the raids, and I think his main value nowadays is a plug-and-play character in Cosmic Crucible on offense. So that is the main recommendations for this City section. As far as honorable mentions, 2099 is a great recommendations. I did not take him into the City section of Dark Dimension, but from what I'm hearing on chat, very squishy. But he's another character that you're going to build for other game modes, especially Cosmic Crucible. Outside of that, you also have Miss Marvel, who does have some synergy with Squirrel Girl there. So you're going to get a little bit of that Young Avengers synergy in Dark Dimension. So great character in Dark Dimension, great character in this Young Avenger team, not leading to Apocalypse and doesn't really, and just pretty much in the Young Avengers. You're not going to use her outside of Young Avengers. So is a backup if you don't have a lot of gear for some of these primary characters. Kingpin looks to be a great character in Dark Dimension, and on that underworld team outside of Dark Dimension, gives you some for survivability, summon some bodyguards, which is gonna hopefully take some pressure off your main character. So Kingpin is a great backup character if you don't have some of these gear and some of these pieces. And Mr. Negative is also a very good character. The bad thing about Mr. Negative, kind of like Wong, does have some long cooldowns, so it may not be very good for Dark Dimension. So those are the recommendations for City, for Global. Last but not least, let's go down to the easiest section here to make recommendations for, and that is this Legendary section. Well, I think it's just a no-brainer. Let's pick the Horseman here: Archangel, Morgan Le Fay, Red Hulk, and Rogue. And last but not least, well, it's not a Horseman, but it's on a Horseman team, and Magneto. So I think that's the easiest section there to pick. Bill, bring in your Horseman, bring in Magneto. Now, if gear is a little limiting, because we do have a lot of mutants in here, we do have a lot of mystic characters in here, we do have Nick Fury with that skill tag, and he's an important part of the Invaders, and I use him sometimes in Arena still, so it gives you a lot of value. Iron Man is on the Bionic Avengers. They are needed right now for that tech section in the raids, and they are a Scourge unlock team. But I think you could skip him if you have gear for some other characters. And the best non-legendary or non-Horseman legendary character is Omega Red. Still has some value as a plug-and-play character. Crucible, still one of the best war teams. But those are the recommendations, guys. These who I would bring in if the gear, you had all the gear and you could just bring in these characters. There's no limitations as far as your origin gear or anything like that. So those are the picks. Those are the honorable mentions. Let me know who you are bringing into Dark Dimension if you're just starting it or you have recently completed it. I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully this video helps you to make your picks for Dark Dimension 5 if you haven't already done that, and start to get all that stuff ready for Dark Dimension 6, which is going to feature Super-Skrull as the big bad unlock. Thanks for watching all the way to the end, guys. Like I said, hopefully this helps you. If it did, hit that subscribe, hit that like button so YouTube knows to give it a better ranking on the algorithm. Check me out on social media, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.